program, or do you not want them to settle down for a while?
No, you know this, TD. You've been a part of so many great victories. You know, you got to let it go at some point in time. Today, we got back really early in the morning, and then today the guys fed the needy today over one of the food banks and tried to get it off of them. And shoot, all everybody wanted to do was take pictures with them and congratulate them on winning the game last night. So I don't know how well it worked out for us, to be honest with you. But that was the intent, and it was a great night for our little university down here for sure.
You cannot beat that kind of exposure for sure. You were telling me about all the interviews you've done on a national basis, so that brings a lot of positive exposure to the program. I want to ask you this. Every coach knows, no matter what the game is, pretty much there's a time in the game where a coach can get a gut reaction, either with a rebound, a shot that's missed, diving on whatever, that this game's going to go one way or the other. When did it occur to you that, you know what, these kids believe and we're going to win this thing?
You know, Kitty, that's a great point. You know, and it's the first time anybody's asked me that question. I thought about midway through the second half. I thought we'd settled in pretty good, and our stuff was working. And I knew, unless something crazy happened, I thought that our bunch would have a chance to win it at the end. And unless something just nuts happened, I thought we'd be right there to win it at the end of the game. And it was probably about the 10-minute mark. They tried to escape from us to start the second half, and the crowd was going crazy. And then they dunked one pretty early, you know, a few minutes later, and they're slapping the floor and doing their deal, and the crowd's going nuts. And we got another bucket. And then we went ahead of them, I think, maybe like 61-60, and fought our way back to get it to there. And I thought this is going to go nip and tuck all the way to the end.
I don't pretend to know to make up your team, but I can judge looking outside in. You must have some tough dudes mentally on that squad.
You know, we do. We actually have 8 new players on our team, but we have 2 like Division I transfers that went to JUCO. We got 3 high school kids and a couple other junior college players, and we got some good holdovers from our previous years. 3 good seniors that have probably won, going into this year, they probably won about 60, about 65 or 70 games. So they've won at LSU, they've won at Baylor. They played in the NCAA tournament a bunch, and they know what it takes. And Duke's like playing at Old Gallagher. I mean, that's add about 2,000 more people maybe, but that's what it's like. And that's the only thing I can compare it to. And they are tough, and they were very connected last night and very resilient. And as a coach, that's what you hope for. And the play that won the game typifies what I think that you want as a coach. I mean, we get a deflection and a loose ball. My kid is the first one on the floor with 2 hands and 2 feet, and throws it to his teammate. And gosh, we just go lay it in. You know, I mean, but the loose ball, the deflection and the loose ball set the whole thing up.
You know, certainly nothing of this magnitude, I wouldn't think. But Stephen F. Austin, we were talking before you came on the air, and I didn't know that much until Underwood and Boynton got up here. That, I mean, obviously Stephen F. Austin is not a team over the years that you go out and look for at the Colvin Center and get 10 guys and go play. I mean, this is an established team that wins a lot of ball games.
100%. And by the way, I got a great text from Mike Boynton today, and I really appreciate him. I know he's got a big game against Syracuse tonight, but I want your listeners to know that, you know, Mike's and I know everybody knows this, what a great coach and a great man he is, and how lucky you guys are to have a guy like Mike Boynton lead your program. And I appreciate him taking time out of his day to send me a text, but even think about us down here. But yeah, I mean, I inherited a program that had won for, a while. I mean, we're the state's winningest program over the last, 12 years, and from starting with Danny Casper to Brad, and we just kind of inherited a great culture, of what was going on, and they care about the jersey and how it's going to be when they leave, and they get new guys, don't want to let anybody else down. You've seen that. Mm-hmm. Coach Gundy's got that going on in football right now, and Coach Sutton had it, and they've got a good deal going in basketball, and they're going to got a great recruiting class coming, and they're going to be dynamite.
You mentioned Bain, and of course, there's a kind of a side story to this. He had the winning bucket, but he had a GoFundMe page prior to, and I'll let you fill in the blanks. But since the winning bucket, the total continues to go up.
Yeah, he only had a couple thousand going into this game. My AD made a great decision not to shut it down, and and now it's over 65,000. And I think there's a lot of North Carolina fans or North Carolina State that really were happy what we did last night, TD, and decided they wanted to congratulate Bain on his layup at the end. But he's from Freeport, Bahamas. His dad is a pastor. He also has a school in conjunction with his church for 35 years. And the hurricane, the Category 5 Hurricane Dorian, demolished it all on their island. They have 600 kids at that school, and they lost everything. And so with the help of, we organized the Red Cross here and try to help with some relief efforts. And this kid's an unbelievable kid. He's going to graduate this spring, and just trying to help those. And this is not to help the kid or his family, Nathan Bain. It's to help the church and the school, and not their personal family, just to help 600 kids and try to help their lives and the people at that church. And that's really what this GoFundMe page is about. And it's approved by the NCAA. So if there's anybody that cares about a family who's just selfless and maybe the most impactful family in Freeport, Bahamas, man, and you got a little extra money. And I know it's the holidays and nobody has a lot of money during the holidays, but and if you want to do something good, that's a great deal. The GoFundMe page for Nathan Bain on the SFA website.
I heard one of your comments in the postgame, and this reflects somebody who's been in this business a long time. You've been at a high level, just mentioning Oklahoma State and Kansas for two, A&M another. You gave credit to Krzyzewski for taking SFA on the schedule. Now, I'm not stupid enough to think that Krzyzewski knows the background of SFA, and probably in the back of his mind thought, this is not like bringing some directional school in that we could beat by 80 points. But he did put you on the schedule, which is a great deal for you guys.
Yeah, well, we've been working on this we tried 2 years ago, tried to get the game. They went another direction, and you know how it is, TD. I mean, you used to come in there and give Coach Sutton heck all the time about barking dogs and fleas and all kinds of stuff. My memory,
yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah, no, you got it right. Yes.
And you'd give, and he'd have to correct you and tell you how good the opponent was, right?
On occasion, yes, he would. Yes,
and at least try to give it back to you a little bit.
Yes, sir.
And so we tried, and Coach Krzyzewski, went another direction, and so we tried again. And it didn't quite work out, and then this year they had a game come open. My assistant head coach called me. I was with my mom, and he said, "Hey, Duke's got another game." I said, "Hey, if you want to play," I said, "Call them, see if they'll play." And I'd written Coach a couple of letters and emails, and during the course of different times, and thankfully agreed to play. I mean, because we're just trying to grow our brand and keep building the program as big as we can. Because they pick and choose, as you know, they pick and choose who they want to play, and our style is not easy to play against. It's high pressure. Denial, man-to-man. Well, Eddie Sutton with a little bit maybe more pressure, and I think we're leading the country in forced turnovers, and it's a fun style to play and tough-minded. I give a lot of credit to what I've learned from Coach Sutton. I mean, I'm very grateful for what he taught me and the opportunity he gave me.
I got to ask you two questions here. Number one, kind of take us inside. What was your, not just the night, but pregame message as you prepared for Duke to your players? And I assume you called a timeout after or somewhere close to it when you got down by 15 in the second half. What would have been your message to your players then?
I'll take my pregame message to them really was real simple. I told them just to be themselves. I had them the night before write down on a piece of paper, their names. Blank white sheet of paper, and I said, just
be yourself. And we all use the same alphabet, but we write our names differently. No matter how much I practice writing your name, it's never going to be just like the way you write it. And that's how we put this team together. You don't have to play any different than your game. And we have to play as connected as a team as in your game, and that's good enough. So just be you. And, you know, we were down 15 in the first half, and we had a senior, Kevon Harris, who's our best player, put his name in the draft. Thankfully for me, selfish as I am, as you know, TD, he came back instead of entering the NBA draft because he's not ready. But he showed a lot of people last night he's a pretty good basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
He put us on his back in the first half. He had a Desmond Mason 20-point first half and just put on a show and gave our guys confidence and willed us to, I think we were down 3 at the half, I think, and allowed and just wore himself out. Didn't give us much second half really, but allowed those other guys just to get in the game at that point.
You always give credit, and you always have been, to not take any of the credit, but disperse it to the people you feel like were responsible. But I got to think in a moment after you left, and you said you left, you had to change your suit, your shirt, your tie was all orange after the Gatorade bath inside, which is great, I guess. You'd like to have that every night. But were you thinking back to start with Eddie Sutton and moving on? Bill Self. I mean, you've been around some guys who really know how to coach this game of basketball, and I wonder if that came crossing your mind at any time, maybe on the flight back.
You know who I thought about first, and you know, I had texts from Coach Self and a lot of the Suttons, but the guy that called me first was Leonard Hamilton. And I talked to Coach Hamilton leading up to the game because they play in the league. And and I watched how they played them because we don't play a lot different than no pressure at Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
And so watching them play was good for me.
And pardon me?
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, and so that was, obviously Coach Ham's different today than he was, back in the late '80s.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good basketball coach now. I mean, he's won. Not that he wasn't a good coach then, but man, he's won a lot of games over his career. And and his teams are tough. They are. That's how they've been able to, beat Duke and win some of those games. And that's a lot about what we talked about. And I tell you, he had 2 things he thought that were really important: was not give up dunks and get charges during that game, which was an interesting thought. And he was just really good for me. And not, their point guard Trey Jones, not make your point guard bring it up against him the whole game, because he's such a good ball handler, especially if you want to guard him like you want to guard him. And so we had other people bring the ball up the floor versus wearing our point guard out, bringing it up against him because he's such a good defender. I thought those were really, really good points. But, yeah, there's no question. I mean, I'm just, TD, I told Scott Sutton in a text last night, I said, man, I talked about Coach Sutton, your dad, a lot last night, and I wouldn't have this opportunity if it wasn't for him to have a moment like this tonight. And because he gave me opportunity. And we all need people to give us opportunity. And Coach gave me opportunity and taught me at a time when I was a really, really young and dumb coach and thought I knew a lot, didn't know anything. And I'm just so grateful. We all need those mentors and people that will allow us to make mistakes and then kind of teach us as we go along. And Coach has done that for so many people. And it's helped so many. He's just a special guy. And Coach Self is no different. Coach Hamilton, let me work for free when I was a student. So I'm a pretty lucky guy.
I want to kind of wrap this up a little bit. Obviously, Oklahoma State fans could tell right off the bat when they saw on your lapel the 10 pin. And you and I have somewhat of a connection with the rest of our lives. But that was noticeable by a lot of people, and not surprising to me. You'll wear that forever.
100%. I mean, There are 10 guardian angels, TD. You and I will be linked forever because of that night, and obviously not only changed our lives but our families' lives. And I think our life is a lot different. We look at life a lot different today than what we did probably in January 2001, and for the better. And I think I'm much better person, hopefully, and a much better coach than I was then. And survival guilt is real. If anybody ever wants to know.
Yes, sir. Amen to that. Amen to that.
And so I still fight it today, and hopefully you're doing better than I am. But no matter how much you try to mask it, but it's no fun. And if you want to care about somebody else, you go through what you and I went through, and it's reality, and it's life. But I think it's helped me deal with these kids and what goes on in their lives in different ways. And I'm sure it's helped you with your family and different people in your life that you deal with. And, it's a horrific incident that happened at our university there. And you don't want anything ever bad to happen, but hopefully we'll change some stuff that it won't happen in other places.
Last thing, why don't you bring us an update on your family? We haven't talked to you in a while.
Thanks, Dee, for asking. My beautiful wife, Chauncey, we got married when we were there. She's an OSU grad, loves Stillwater. And I have a 12-year-old daughter who was born in Stillwater and a 10-year-old son, Kemper, who was unfortunately born in Lawrence. So he doesn't have those Oklahoma birthrights, but he is an Oklahoma State fan, just like my daughter and my wife are. So we root hard for the Cowboys, and I'm kind of fired up. Really, I'm excited for Bedlam this week, and I'm anxious to see what Coach Gundy has in store, and I know for sure he's going to win. So I'm anxious for that game.
Spoken like
I told somebody this the other day. Somebody goes, I haven't really appreciated what Mike Gundy's been able to do. I said, I've been trying to tell you this for years. What a phenomenal job that guy's done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's just unbelievable year after year after year. What a great teacher and a great coach. And, our fans they should build a statue for him, what he's done there. He's the best.
I kind of agree. And I don't want to end this without also showing just how deep the Keller roots are in Oklahoma State University. I mean, this is a no-brainer when you start backtracking to your family and what they meant to this school.
My family?
Yeah. Your yeah.
No, TD, we're just a small piece, man. The university's it's so big. I mean, the university's done a lot more for us than we could do for them. Trust me on that. Oklahoma State means a lot. We have a lot of graduates in our family, and I've got two nieces and a nephew going to school there, and I got others on the way. So they're excited to figure out what Eskimo Joe's really is like after 11 o'clock at night when they get to be 21. So I hear stories all the time. Uncle Coach, as they call me now, what it's really like. So, and the strip and all the great stuff that goes on there. So they like it a lot.
Yeah, and I'm referring.
So I'm trying to get my kids to, get them to go somewhere before it's all said and done. But they love OSU though. Yeah, and they love you too. Hey, I appreciate your time. Congratulations once again, and we'll follow you guys. And I don't know, can we ever get you on the schedule here? That might be something here. Oh, man, I couldn't ever go back in there. I'd start crying when I walked in there. Until the game started. And then, hey, Brooks could do it, but I don't think I could ever. You're right. A lot tougher than I am. And it was harder on him as well. Hey, congratulations again. Go enjoy it. Thank you, buddy. Yes, sir. Bye. Thanks, bye. That is Kyle Keller. And, he's got a deep history here, as I said, his family does. Oklahoma State, true and true. Loyal and true, I guess, to be precise. But what a great win for him and his program. And I know Kyle, he's enjoying it now, Jordan, but he's looking ahead to Arkansas State, I guarantee. As he said, you got to let it go sometime, and he'll be just as honed in on that. But I'm telling you, this is one thing that he'll remember forever. And before we went on the air, I said, I guess you ruined your suit and your shirt and your tie and with the Gatorade bath in the dressing room. I said, you ought to keep that shirt as a reminder. He said, you know what? I might do that. I might frame it.
I would frame it.
That's what he said.
I would not wash it either. Yeah. So you want the orange tint on there? He said you could be sure that we have orange Gatorade down here, so that you could be sure of that. There you go. Good. And by the sounds of it, he has his post game arrangements made up for Saturday. I think so. They'll be done playing around 6:15, 6:30. Media gets done 6:45. Go back to the locker room and flip on FOX. And he's a football guy, too. He's big time into that. And watch that on Fox. So, and we'll talk about that coming up next. Yes, sir. So we got the Furniture Showcase pregame show. That is 20 minutes away with Jordan Woodruff and Tom Dorado. They will take you through the pregame show for Oklahoma State and Syracuse. By the way, some very nice words there from Coach Keller about Coach Boynton as well. So good stuff there. Good stuff all around, and a great interview there with the man of the hour, so to speak, in college basketball right now, Coach Kyle Keller from Stephen F. Austin. Take a time out. We're back right after this. We're talking Bedlam football, and we'll be right back.
Cowboy fans, game days don't get any better than 12 full hours of coverage dedicated to the Pokes. It's Orange Nation Game Days, every game day, at your only home for sports talk with an orange flavor.